All right. Looks like we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Silver Lining TV, where we motivate and inspire people to create a better life through real estate. And I'm joined again with Scott Fultz, my business partner. How you doing today,
Good.
man?
How are you, man?
Doing pretty good, man. I know we talked, it's been about 2 weeks, and we discussed how we need to get back on here so that we can talk about creative ways on how we find great deals for our clients in today's market. So this is what we're going to talk about today. All right. So before we get started, I want to let you know if you have questions, comments, leave them in the comment section. We'll make sure to address them. So Scotty, I'm going to throw it to you. What is one of the biggest things that you do every day to help find great deals for our clients today?
Well, just making calls. You've got to be reaching out to people. You've got to be creative in how you reach out to people. Always like Facebook posts, posing questions to people, trying to find out what people want to talk about. But cold calls is reality for what we do, for sure. I think not a lot of people do that anymore.
So how many people you think on average that you speak to on average per day about possible off-market opportunities that will save our clients money? How many people per day you think?
I mean,
I know the number, by the way.
You know how many people I'll talk to in a day?
Yeah, because we track it.
Yeah. pushing 20.
Yeah. So we're talking to a minimum, or he is a minimum of 20 people per day about possibly selling their property. And again, whenever we're able to have those type of conversations, it not only allows us to open up the opportunities for our current clients, but even for them becoming a client, we're able to find opportunities for them as well. In other words, we match make, right?
I use that word all the time.
Yep. Yeah, we do a great job of matchmaking. So cold calling is one thing that we do. Now, tell me give me another thing. Like, what's another creative way that we're able to generate off-market opportunities and great deals?
I mean, just keeping an eye on Facebook and seeing people post stuff about, other agents are looking for things. We've got buyers that might fill those, slots. People are looking for homes themselves. Maybe we've got listings coming up. Just always being in tune and having an ear open for what's going on and just pay attention.
Absolutely. And not to mention too, when it comes to Facebook, obviously our brand, Silverline Real Estate Group, is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So although we're trying to be proactive in networking and matchmaking, we have people actually reaching out to us. They're like, hey, I may have this coming available. I'm willing to let it go for this. Do you have a buyer for it? So based on, and a lot of that does come from Facebook, branding and marketing and stuff like that. But yeah, Facebook is huge for us as well. Yeah. Scotty, what's another one? Give me a third one. What's another one that you find quite effective?
Oh gosh, man. Just talking. I don't know. That's a good. I mean, cold calls and then just past clients. I mean, always reaching out to past clients and saying, hey, you've gained so much equity, in the past 2 or 3 years. Have you thought about anything? And sometimes that'll spark up some conversation.
Yeah. So what I found personally is when we're talking to our past clients, especially if you've been one of our recent past clients, like over the past 3 years, you've built up so much equity in your home to where all you really care about is convenience. Like when we talk to, let's say John Doe, for example, we helped them buy in 2018, right? And we're talking with them today and we're like, hey, John, your property is now worth $40,000 more than what you bought it for. And he's like, okay, well, me and my wife were considering actually upgrading or upsizing, right? And we're like, okay, well, we can sell it for this. And then John responds with, well, hey, I'll let it go for this. When instead of $300,000, I'll let it go for $290,000 if we can make it more convenient, right? If I could find a property and the whole transition is seamless. So when we have discussions like that, we can make it a win-win for the new buyer coming in, and then for our client who owns the property wanting to upsize or downsize. So again, that's another way. Just really stay in communication with our past clients. Okay. So we touched on circle prospecting, Facebook, pretty much in other words, attracting the business. And then we just touched on past clients. Okay. Now, I would say when it comes to being creative and finding opportunities for you, the client, it's going to be imperative that when you're talking to your agent, you're asking them, What are you doing to help find me great deals in today's market? Okay. And this is just free education. That way you get the best agent possible. You want to have an agent who's proactive, not reactive. And what I mean by that is a home hits the market, that agent gets notified from the MLS, the multiple listing service. Meanwhile, there's like 400 other agents that gets notified of the same listing. And every agent at least has one buyer who's interested in buying something. So now you're getting more competition, making it more difficult for you to buy a house. And it's really because your agent isn't being proactive, they're being reactive. Proactive is every morning or every day making phone calls to network, to matchmake, calling through the neighborhood that you want to buy in, calling through that specific neighborhood and saying, homeowner one, have you ever considered selling? Homeowner two, and so on and so forth, right? It's kind of doing the dirty work, okay? Well, Scott, would you add anything to that?
No, and I think what's funny about the circle prospecting, the cold calls, is it surprises other agents to hear, how much of that we do. But then it surprises the homeowners themselves in those neighborhoods. I think that's always cool when they like, why are you calling me? And I said, well, because I've got buyers that are looking in your neighborhood. We talk with people all the time that want your specific neighborhood, and it feels, oh, well, gosh, it is a nice neighborhood. And it's just cool to have those conversations. It makes the owner feel good. I think it surprises them the amount of effort we'll take for our clients too.
Absolutely. And there's another one we got to touch on, investors.
Yeah.
We work with so many great investors. When I say great investors, we're not talking about they're just good at what they do. We're talking about great people. Great people. Do you want to expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, specifically, one of my favorite guys to work with. Used to be a police officer here in town. Got a good heart for helping people. I was at a closing and he was buying someone's property that had burned down quite a bit, and he was going to fix it up. And he knew of another house. When I told him what my client was looking for to buy now that she had sold their property, he said, oh, I just spoke, so-and-so was in here talking with my wife, and I know something that you might be looking for, and this sounds perfect. Here's their number. He could have just as easily said, let me arrange something. I will, be the middleman, and he could have tried to make some money too, and the price would have gone up. But he said, call this person, see if they'll help you out. So he's looking to help people. And that's right on brand with what we do. So
yeah, and it's hard to find people like that because obviously a lot of investors, when they're trying to find properties, they're finding it for them, not always for to help someone else like right away. If there's a great opportunity for them, typically they're liquid enough and the mindset to go ahead and take care of it from there. But we have investors that are like, hey, listen, I'll let this one go if it makes sense for your client. Go ahead and do it. So another thing, is your agent networking with investors? Okay, is your agent networking with investors? Are they trying to establish relationship with investors or people who are who own rental properties? That's another one too. People who are landlords. In today's market, we found that a lot of them are trying to offload the rental properties. And because of that, sometimes they'll let it go for a deal if they don't have to put work into the house to get it ready for market. Again, networking, having a proactive agent is going to be the way to go. So my plea for everyone out here watching this video, make sure that when you interview that agent, which I hope you're interviewing your agent, that you're asking them, what are you going to do to help me find off-market opportunities so I'm not out here competing against 100 buyers, okay? Another thing too I'm going to touch on before we close, the power of collaboration in regards to a team. Because although Scott's talking to 20 people, we have 7, 8 other agents out here who are still doing the same thing, even up to right now. Networking, trying to matchmake. So what happens is we're able to talk to even more people, provide even more service to more people, and then also matchmake. Because we talk, hey, I spoke with so-and-so, they got a 3-bed, 2-bath. You mentioned you had a buyer that was looking for that, correct? And we're able to collaborate and make things happen. We do all this and we put the work in every day to make the client happy. So those are the creative ways, and we can go even further, but we want to keep this short. We're already over 10 minutes about how we can be creative in finding off-market opportunities for our clients. Scott, so we can end this. How can they reach you if they had questions about that, or just to really want to get the home buying or home selling process started? How can they reach you?
Absolutely. My number is 765-427-2982. We're here. I'm here all day, every day at the office. A lot of weekends. We're right behind Target, at the corner of Rome Drive and Shenandoah. Pop in the office. We'd love to meet you and talk with you about any questions you might have or whatever. But Facebook, yeah, try to be very reachable.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott's he's on Facebook making videos, kind of breaking down the home buying process and the home selling process. So make sure that you add him as a friend on Facebook if you haven't already, because he's always dropping great, valuable content that's going to give you more clarity whenever that time comes for you to make a move. Another thing I'll say too is, Scott has been around. He's been in the business for a while now. He's seen everything at this point, okay? So if you want to have an agent that's going to make sure that not only they're going to take their time with you to educate you, but they're also going to make sure they're making phone calls every day to connect and find you off-market opportunities, this is the man that you want to work with. And it's a pleasure working with him every day, side by side with him. So we're going to end it there. We're going to end it with our goals to help you reach yours. And then we will have Scott back, because I've had a couple of questions about, hey, when we're going to see Scott again. Scott will be back. I promise you, okay? Hopefully we'll get another one in this month. So you guys take care out there. We'll see you on the next one.